Welcome to BA 513, the welcome video to give you introduction on how we're gonna use the materials in this course. Okay, first of all, let me share with you my screen with Blackboard. When you enter a Blackboard, you will see immediate distribution to the grade in this course. As you can see, homework will be represent 60% of the grades in this course, and final project will represent 40%. The first welcome video is this one I'm recording now, and then you will see the modules are divided into weekly assignments, and each week you will see listed tasks and some discussions and some videos that you need to cover. So let us start with week number 1. So when you enter the week number 1, you will see the syllabus. So please make sure to download the syllabus and to look thoroughly into the guidelines provided inside the syllabus. Related to COVID-19, there is the last section in which I cover some scenarios if you are on campus and you need to use some materials. You need, for example, to practice with the materials in this Blackboard. You can use a couple of classrooms that are partitioned around the students in the building. So pay attention to the number of sitting, and it's based on first come, first served. So if you are on campus, I believe this is a good way to sit in this room, bring your computer and work on your assignment. Otherwise, if you are taking this course completely online, nothing else needed regarding the COVID-19. Now let us go to the course again. Beside that, pay attention to the course calendar. I would advise you to download it, so you have a link to it, so you can download it and start organizing your due date to know ahead of the time what is due and when is due. So this course is divided into 7 weeks. The first 5 weeks will be building the foundations for you to know how to do the final project. So there is no final exam, there is a final project, and the final project is related to COVID-19. So I will give you detailed information about data sets and how you can incorporate any idea you want with COVID-19. And beside that, I will advise you to, because that represents a very heavy grade in this course, so why not see what the other students did in previous semesters, since the spring and summer semesters. So if you go to WKU website / data analytics, just write DA. And from there, if you go to the DA student projects, you should be able, under the graduate, to see what kind of a project each one of the students did in previous semesters. So the moment you like one of those materials, you might consider or some other idea, enhanced idea based on what you have seen in those videos, and that will be up to you. You are the one who decide the topic, and I give you all the flexibilities. All I do, I give you guidelines from where you get the data, and I teach you how to use visualization and predictive modeling in a way that will help you to come up with a solution like your friends did over here. So watch those videos. You have about 40 videos, and actually some of them, like the first 24, those are made in summer, which the course was a similar course but very compact in 1 month. So so if a student was able to do it in 1 month, I bet you can do even better job in this longer period, by term period. So they had 4 weeks, you have 7 weeks, and hopefully we'll see really exciting projects from your end. Now, let's go back to the design of this course. There are some softwares I would like for you to download right away, because sometimes the students will have problems with their computers, especially if you have a computer that you obtained from your company and it has some securities on it. That will be problematic for you. You cannot download the software, you cannot install it properly, so you really need to detect this the first week, so you'll be able to drop the course if you don't have another computer to use at home, and maybe retake it in upcoming semester until you have really the computer that can allow you to have full control on downloading and using those applications. So under the installations, you have two applications. The first one, there's a video in which I show you how you can install and how you can configure it to do unlimited data access to predictive modeling, which is called RapidMiner software. And then you have it also in a print in text format, that if you prefer the text format, make sure to follow the instructions. So the first period of this course, we're gonna spend time on predictive modeling, and mainly, if you recall, linear regression. I will focus on that, but I will not rely on your background in this area. I'm gonna start fresh, and we'll see where we go from there. So make sure you download RapidMiner right away, then move to the second section, which is downloading Tableau Desktop application. And make sure to download the one I provided you inside the folder. This is one version, before the last version, because the last version, they made a lot of changes and just happened last month, and they don't have yet some guideline for students and for faculty to this new version. So I don't want you to get confused with the instructions I have this course and the new version. The user interface is a little bit different, so I don't want you to be confused. So download, you have version for Mac, version for Windows. All the applications work with both operating systems, also with Linux. If you have Ubuntu, it works with it, or Red Hat, it works with Linux environment as well. Those applications, they work. And you have the activation key right away. You can activate Tableau and you can start using it and practice with it. As I say, that will be coming after finishing the predictive modeling, but make sure you can install it on your computer and it's running. That's really good to know that you are in good shape to continue this course. And that's it by related to the installation and the syllabus and the calendar. What else? The first week, you're gonna go into two tasks. The first one is you're gonna introduce yourself on discussion board. So link all the project and assignments are inside the folders. You don't have to search for them from the navigation bar in Blackboard. So everything is here. So week one, you should see all the information. So part one, introduction to yourself. You're gonna watch also a TED Talk related to visualization and analytics, and then answer some questions related to that topic. Then you're gonna go over the first unit, which is the first predictive modeling lecture, in which you're gonna watch a video in which I explain to you what is data mining, what is predictive modeling, just give you 10,000 feet up in perspective, big perspective about predictive analytics, and then we're gonna go further in deep how we can really do it on our own. There is a document I would love for you to start reading, building vocabulary in analytics, so please make sure you read it. After that, we're going to have hands-on. So I will start with the first predictive modeling lecture, and I will explain in this lecture how predictive modeling is different than statistical modeling that you are used to do in the past. And then I walk you through a complete case scenario, business case scenario. On the other hand, the same case, I provide you with materials. The theory part, which is the exact lecture, which is you need to read, and you go follow the same step I did in the video on your own. In this way, you can really master the content. And the second part is the data set. So download the data set and the PowerPoint presentation I used to create this video, so you can use it and you can practice to be ready for the assignment. After you're finishing the lecture modeling of the week one, you're gonna go do your assignment. So in this assignment, I provide you with some video explanation of what I'm expecting from you to do in this week. And then with dataset, we're going to use with RapidMiner software to implement the first project, which is very simple, related to cars. So all of us like cars, so it would be a fun project that we all familiar with, and not really medical field type of data set that you get confused with. Very simple data that you can just show me that you were able to use RapidMiner and you created some type of predictive model. Maybe it will make sense to you, maybe not, and just discuss it and critique it and tell me what you found. And finally, you're going to submit your Word document as an answer to this assignment for week 1. I don't need from you to upload the actual RapidMiner execution file. Just I want the Word document taking screenshot of your project from RapidMiner and supplement with some type of good argument inside it. So that's it for the week 1. As I said, it's very quick. If you get the hang of first week, the rest gonna be similar. Next week, the following week, we're gonna have some theoretical part of materials, some practical parts, and assignments you're gonna do every week until you master this content, and finally you'll be able to handle a big project like COVID-19 project related to the economic impact, maybe, or maybe the use of masks, if it's beneficial or not. So you have multiple type of data that you can use up to your choice, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let me go very quickly as intro to this course, and let's see from here. Let me share the second window. Okay, so let me share this window now. Share. Okay, so very quick introduction to data analytics and what it is. So this course is going to provide you with a mix of 2 domains. Domain 1 is the predictive modeling, and domain 2, data visualization. Mixing those 2 will allow you to be able to analyze data and accordingly to create a story about specific data that you picked related to COVID-19, and accordingly visually explain the finding of this story. So predictive modeling, what it is predictive modeling, I keep repeating that term. So technically it uses many different models. One of them, the simplest model, is linear regression. And you are familiar with linear regression in the past. However, the mathematical foundation of using linear regression depends on finding the mathematical formula of linear regression and assess its validity, if it's a good representation of the data or not. Whereas in predictive modeling, what you are trying to do here is you have the data, you have features, variables in the data, and you're trying to predict or forecast future or specific variable in this data based on historical data. So your linear regression model is nothing but a model you created for the future. When you have a new data, you apply those data on that model and you come with some analysis and with some prediction. So it doesn't rely completely on the mathematical foundation you found, but rather on the data they are using, and the term of big data we have been hearing recently. You know, it's really changed the whole way we are looking at data modeling, because now if you have big data, you will be able to use it as a repository of information to create models from, and in future when a new data appears, you can map that prediction or that model you created in the past into the new data and predict something new. And we're going to see it in many different cases. So I'll give you here some examples. For example, in the policing, now based on the heat map in the area, they the police can really redistribute the unit based on the criminal patterns in the area, so they know exactly where to use their resources. So that's one way of using predictive modeling. Fraud detection is another type of predictive modeling that can be used based on the pattern in the past. Like, for example, transactions happen in California, and most of my transactions were in Kentucky or in Bowling Green, maybe in Louisville, maybe in Lexington. And now something happened in California where at the same time, or maybe an hour before, I did a transaction here in Bowling Green. So that automatically would be signaled through my bank that there is a fraud detection. So that's one kind of predictive modeling that is really useful. What else? Cybersecurity is one of the biggest topics recently. If you accessed your application through your phone and half an hour ago in a location, and then someone else accessed it long period of time, maybe for after half an hour or an hour, that will trigger some type of suspicion and will alert you that there is some access to application that you highly likely didn't do it. What else? As I said, that's the type of the IP address detection. You might also recall in the medical field, now with COVID-19, using some type of modeling to predict the future based on what's happening in other regions. Like when all this started, they looked at the model in Italy and the peak and all the stuff, and that alert the people here in US to to take it to consider the situation that is really high risk and to act accordingly, closing the borders and all this stuff. Visualization, a type of visualizations that you can do with Tableau is similar to this one here, which is really a powerful tool that can help you and visually represent your data. So here, for example, this company created the distribution of the coffee all over the world by regions and looked at the top 10 coffee production nations, and maybe accordingly they're gonna hunt their upcoming maybe distribution, who knows. So but a very easily way on the map with numbers, with visual, nice interaction, you can really tell a story easily about the data without really presenting tables or formulas, and make it user-friendly visual interface that can explain what's going on in your data. Another example over here, which is comparing the Christmas tree sales between 2004 to 2016. What's the fake Christmas tree sales in the US happening with it, and accordingly, if you really deal with that business, you really need to know what's going on, and that's a way to represent the patterns in this data. Another one here, using Twitter data to do some prediction. Even more creatively here, comparing two companies, your company and maybe the competitor, and see what's going on in the market, and knowing how to strategically change your maybe business model according to what's going on with your competitors. So data visualization is really nice. It helps us understand the data in a better way and easier way, and help us come with an easy explanation to really complicated models most of the time. Just a warning, beautiful visualization without accurate data, meaningless, so they call it garbage in, garbage out. So of course you have to pay attention to the source of the data and which source you use and what the credential of that source that you took the data from, and you are trying to come up with some analysis to it. Okay, that's really important. So it really helped us, data visualization. So it used to be only computer scientists to be able, or statistician, to come up with this type of visual analysis. Now you don't have to have that background. You can really use tools like RapidMiner and Tableau, and with the knowledge you gained in your education to really, you don't need to have the coding or programming skills to be able to produce similar, even more convincing, visualization to explain the data of your company. Okay, so typically any visualization goes into the following process. You have real world data or problem, and you look at the data and try to design some visual interface and tell a story at the end about that data. And that's what we're going to do in this class. We're going to try to communicate the insightful information of this data and try to come up with a story to explain what did we see in this data, what did we discover, what kind of pattern we saw in this data. And the structure of this course is going to be like, we're going to watch a lot of videos. You're going to try to, as much as you get more trained with the videos, tutorials, it's like a boot camp. You really need to learn all those stuff like on your own and practice. The more you practice, the more you get knowledge and understanding how to use this data. The more cases you see, the better off you are in knowing how to solve a problem from scratch. I didn't list any books in this semester, but there are 2 books are really useful, very, very important. If you have time in future after finishing this course, I would advise you to buy them. The Visual Imperative by Lindy Ryan is a very good book to learn the vocabulary and the visualizations concepts. If you want to professionally consider data visualization as part of your profile, so I will advise you to buy that book. And the second one, which is Tableau. I didn't adopt it in this semester because a lot of changes happening to Tableau, and those books really don't stay on the market more than 2-3 months because Tableau keeps changing the interfaces, so you have to adapt. But it's really a good book, also from Pearson publisher, and by Lindy Ryan as well. So I picked those 2 books because they are really parallelly can be read and build your vocabulary and the theoretical part with the first one, then the technical part with the second one. Okay, this is the distribution of the grades. So you're gonna have 5 weeks. Those 5 weeks you're gonna have assignments each week, and then the final project will represent 40% of your grade. Why data visualization and why specifically Tableau? There are more different products like Power BI and maybe using the descriptive visual aspect of visualization and programming, maybe with R also. I don't disagree that you should not learn R. If you have the time to learn R, would be great. Tableau is really easy, and not only that, it's really taking over the market. So if you Google a little bit and see the sector that Tableau really took over, it's tremendous, and their growth exponentially goes. So I feel like it's a good skill to be added to your CV. Okay, so what do you need? You need a laptop or PC, and that should be personal computer to be able to install those softwares and to be able to interact with the material in this course. Otherwise, you will not be able to practice, you will not be able to accomplish and to finish the final project accordingly. What else? So each week you're gonna have resources, videos, and a lot of practicing hands-on exercises that you have to follow. And the final project I stated there will be between October 10 and 12, not per se 10. The deadline for closing the course is October 13. So make sure you finish it earlier and start as early as possible. We're going to use Tableau Desktop. More of that going to come in the video tutorials and with the activations inside your Blackboard. The final project is going to consist of 3 components. You're going to submit a final pitch paper, and you're going to submit a Tableau workbook, and you're going to submit your video speech is going to be available, like you saw your friend project, very similar to that, and it's going to be available publicly on WKU website. You don't want to put your video, just a screen capture. It's okay with me. At the end, you're going to submit to YouTube, and that will be part of the repository of this course, so other students can also benefit. And okay, so start thinking from now maybe about an idea that you could be interested in with COVID-19, and maybe start really investigate further about it. Okay, let's look ahead. So the upcoming deadline is August 31. You're gonna download Tableau, RapidMiner, and you're gonna start with your first week learning predictive modeling and doing assignment number 1. So that's mainly what we're gonna cover here. Let me go back to uh, okay, we're gonna go back here. What else? A little bit about me. My name Lili Popova Zuhadar. I got my doctorate degree in computer engineering, computer science from University of Louisville in 2009. I work with a lot of research with coding and with specifically web mining. If you are interested in my research and maybe doing some collaboration, you can look me up at ResearchGate website and look at the publications. I have about 63 publications between high impact journals and conferences. If you like any topic I have published before and you have questions about it, feel free to email me and tell me if there's a topic you are interested in. Also, you can find my research on Google Scholar. So if you just search my last name, okay, you should find me. Yes, Google Scholar. The same, you should be able to find all my research over there and in more details what I really do in general. Again, that's it for now, and good luck in this course.